It's Mason here from Graphics Master with your 7th tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm basically going to cover Liquify. It's really cool tool. So if you go to image up at the top here, at the very bottom, it'll say Liquify or Shift Control X on the keyboard. So click on that, and it'll give you this window here that says Liquify. And there's a bunch of different tools on the side and a bunch of different things to the side. So first of all, I'm using this picture because this is I've decided after practicing a little bit, a really cool picture to use. So first of all, you'll notice that at the side here, your tool options, brush size, you can change that. So you can change it to really small or really big. I want to keep it at about maybe 59. That's good. And the brush pressure, you can adjust that. I normally just leave it as fine as it is, I think. Mode for reconstruction over here. I would just leave it at smooth, because revert and stuff, you don't want that. Yet, at least. And your view options are just showing you want to see the mesh, do you want to show the image, frozen areas, and yeah. So first of all, let's get to the warp tool up here. Okay, or W on the keyboard. What this basically does is smudges it. So if you click and hold, it smudges it to a certain extent. And you can just smudge stuff a lot. Or if you do this enough, it kind of looks liquid. Of course, not really, but you know, kind of. See how it kind of looks like maybe a puddle of blood? Very creepy, but yeah. At the side here, there will be a button that says revert. That just goes back to the original image. That's very useful when you're just messing around. So yeah, you can mess around with that a little bit and make some really creepy looking weird stuff like that. Let's go back to revert. The next tool, this one's gonna be really creepy. Twirl clockwise and twirl counterclockwise. So let's start with the clockwise, and let's just all I'm doing right now is pressing down and holding, and as long as I hold it, it will continue to twirl. Now this actually gets really creepy. This should be like a movie video or something, because watch as it slowly twists on the eye. It's pretty weird, and then it just looks absolutely completely creepy. We can use the other one for the other eye as well, and all I'm doing is holding it. And it just twirls and kind of looks like maybe hypnotized kind of eye. And if you continue for a while, it does get creepier. But whatever. That's pretty much that. So let's revert that, because that's creeping me out. This one here is the pucker tool. See? And if I just hold that here, it will pucker. Get smaller, pretty much. Whereas if I use the bloat tool on this eye, it will bloat and get extremely large. And you can definitely see that that's really weird. So let's revert that. This is shift pixels, and that just kind of shifts stuff around really weirdly in different directions. And you can make some really creepy stuff with that. So far in all my time of Photoshop, I have never used that for something important. Reflection tool, well, you're probably thinking, oh, reflection, well, it kind of just messes it a lot. Okay. This is the reconstruct tool here, and this is not going to do anything, but say I use the twist one here and just twist it a lot. Go back to reconstruct. It will reconstruct everything that I just did, just like revert, only if I want to only undo it to a certain extent, I can use that tool. Pretty useful. Now here's what I'm going to talk about now. Is another important thing here is the freeze tool, and this one will paint red over certain areas. So say I only want, let's undo that. Say I only want the red part of my eye and the pupil. Actually, no, just the red part of my eye and the pupil, yeah. To be enlarged on this eye. And just the outside to be enlarged on this eye. Well, this is the freeze tool, so all of this will now be frozen. And I'm going to pucker this part here. Like that. And then I'm going to get the enlarge tool here. And just bloat it. And if I get this part here, this is the thaw tool. And this will just get rid of all of that frozen part. You'll note I only puckered inside and I only blew the outside. My pupil is still perfectly fine. Let's revert that. Okay. So now you've pretty much learned all of this, and it's really fun to mess around with. Especially twisting. And also, what some people do is, what you can do on Photoshop is you can actually change stuff realistically. Like, for example, I'm going to take these eyes. I can actually make these size down realistically. Now, I shouldn't have used a bigger brush, but, you know. And this is really useful for some stuff, like portals and warps and stuff. And just pretty much for messing around with pictures sometimes. And now that one over there just kind of looks like a small eye. Now this takes a lot of practice for some things, but once you get good at it rather, you can mess around with it all the time. It's a really fun tool to mess around with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert this, and these eyes here, I've already made them red in another Photoshop project. So now I'm just going to twist them up to make them look creepier. And hypnotized, kind of. And I'm just going to twist it until it gets that white line about there. Just like the other one, which I'm about to do now. And then I'm going to bloat both of them. And with that, I should probably twist them again. Like that. And the other side in the opposite direction. There are tons of things that you can do with Liquify in all different ways. And, well, that's one of them. And then if I want to, I can go to the warp tool and maybe stretch this out a bit. Like that. And after this filters up, loads, and there you go. You can mess around with this and do pretty much whatever you want. There's endless possibilities. That's all I'm going to show in this tutorial. Thanks for watching.